Okay, let's try it again. Hi there, I'm Teacher Oakley. Welcome to Verbling. Sorry for some reason. I'm unable to use my camera in the Hangout. Although when I just tried opening a Hangout independently, I could use the camera. So I'm not sure what's going on. In any case, hi there. In this class, our objective is to talk about studying English. We're going to practice our conversation skills as well as, more importantly, we're going to share some best practices about how to study English. I can make some suggestions and hopefully we'll get some students in the class to also make suggestions on the best way to go about studying English. And again, I'm not entirely sure I'm actually connected. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Some technical foibles today. All right. I guess I am broadcasting here in Verbling. Come on and join me. We can talk about some best practices, some problems with studying English, and hopefully the class can share some good ideas for how to maybe get past some of the roadblocks. Studying English is full of roadblocks and plateaus, and I very well know that it can be a struggle, and sometimes we need to try something a little different to continue our learning process. That's basically the focus of the class. Again, I apologize for not having a camera video. I'm not entirely sure why that's happening. A little technical problem. But nevertheless, I believe you can join the class and we can talk. At least I was able to open the class. All right, this is slightly strange. No, this is really strange, but okay. Hopefully I'll get some students to join me to get this conversation going, but in the meantime, for those that may be watching, I would like to talk a little bit about some self-study tips or self-study methods that some of my students have found beneficial. Now, I have to say, not every student finds every tip to be beneficial. You're all individuals, and you're learning. The way you learn is different. That's not a problem. So it's when studying English, it's often necessary to try some different things to see what works for you. That's very common. So in other words, I'm giving you advice, but my advice may not work for you, or it may. Some different ideas to try. One idea is to use your internet to access some websites like VOA is very good. BBC network, especially if you need to get used to the British accent, or TED Talks is also very valuable. The reason that I recommend these, just you can simply run a search for any of these. You might want to add for English learners if you run a search. Okay, just type in whatever BBC for English learners, for example, because they will have short segments dedicated to English learners where you'll be able to listen and then do some exercises or to practice your English skills. All of these websites have related English learner parts to really help you out, and interesting things to listen to, entertaining and informative. Okay, another possibility to help you out in your self-study. One suggestion, convert all your devices to English. That meaning that your tablet, your smartphone, your laptop. If you're really serious about learning English, it's a very good idea to convert all these devices to English format. More or less forces the issue, right? You don't really have a choice but to interact in English. The more you're exposed to English, the better off you are, the faster you're going to learn. So that's always a very good tip. Number 3, possible tip for learning English. You may want to consider doing this. Use, when you get to a certain level, I would not recommend this for beginners, but once you're about an intermediate level or so, maybe even pre-intermediate, you need to start using an English to English dictionary, not a native language to English dictionary, be it whatever it is, Russian to English, Chinese to English. It's a good idea at a certain point in your English learning to start always using English to English dictionary. Then your references, your frame of reference is in English. When you're trying to think of the word, you're more likely to think of the English-related definition words. Okay, you're basically creating these connections with synapses in your brain. You're trying to associate English with more English to create really paths in your brain that flow along English to English lines instead of always having to translate everything. Okay, here is another recommendation which actually is more for beginners and upper beginners. This is a very strange suggestion, and your friends may think you're crazy, your friends or family, but it's an interesting suggestion because it will very much help especially your English noun, the ability to pull up the word, the noun for concrete things very quickly. This is a strange suggestion, but here it is. Use Postit Notes, those little sticky pad notes, and write English words for like everything. Looking around my office, window, sticker, lever that pulls the window, lever, write it in English, put it on a Post-it note. Air conditioner, put it on the air conditioner. Knob, which controls the air conditioner, I write knob, K-N-O-B, and stick it on a Post-it note. Wall, door, floor, bed, bookshelf, book, everything that you can possibly imagine. Just totally cover your apartment or your house with, even inside the refrigerator, Post-it notes on all your food. Hamburger, celery, apple. It sounds insane. However, it will really help you associate visually the nouns with the words. In addition, it can help your linear thinking because once you jump into English, okay, I need to make a salad. I need the lettuce, the celery, the tomatoes, the onions. And you see the words in English and you associate them, it will actually help spark the other types of words other than the nouns. It will help you think of the verbs, the adjectives, the adverbs, and even the connectives, the function words. Because one of the biggest problems, at some point, in my experience, talking to many students, they reach a level somewhere in the intermediate range where they are still, they know a lot of vocabulary, they know the grammar, they're able to converse in English, but the problem is they don't feel fluent because they don't actually think in English. They are still translating. Their brain is going from, oh, I need this word. What's the word in Spanish? Okay, let me translate that to English. Now I say the word. So, of course, all that extra brain work results in pauses and repetition and self-correction. At that point, this major obstacle in studying English, how to think in English, this Post-it note idea may actually help you. Another idea that may help, but it takes discipline. It most certainly takes a lot of discipline. Let me explain. Another idea, we all have internal dialogue. We all basically talk to ourselves inside our own head. It's human. Don't worry, you're not crazy. It's just human. Force yourself. At certain times of the day, obviously maybe you can't do it in the office when you're working or when you're typing a letter in your own, an email in your own native language. But when you're commuting to work, when you're shopping for groceries, when you're taking a walk down the street to relax after work, try to force yourself, maybe even set your watch. Okay, I know I usually take a walk at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Set your watch. Beep, beep, beep. Reminder. All right, I need to think in English. I'm taking a walk. Force yourself to actually walking down the street. Oh, look at that old lady. Think the words in English. She looks like she's homeless. I wonder where she's going. Okay, our normal internal dialogue. Try to force it in English. Now, I have to tell you, some of my students, okay, nothing much happens. A few of my students actually, by doing this and disciplining themselves to do this, actually have a great breakthrough in their English study, and something just clicks, they break through a wall and they're able to actually start thinking in English. And occasionally they even in their native tongues, they'll answer in English because that's what their brain is doing. It's getting accustomed, habitualizing itself to using those synapses. The same synapses you use for internal dialogue you're using when you're speaking out loud. So really, it's very there's definitely a physiological element to studying English, most certainly in things like pronunciation. That's obvious. Muscle memory in pronunciation. For very beginners, real beginners, it is a very good idea. And I know it's embarrassing and stupid, but to stand in front of the mirror and practice repetitively phonetic sounds that are difficult for you, whatever, th, and the, and the. There were zoos. Zoos were there. The zoos were by the zebra. Pick some very simple sentences and watch yourself say them. This actually helps. very interestingly, a lot of pronunciation, a lot of what you hear listening in English is dependent on visual stimuli. It's not all about what you hear with your ears. I watched an extremely interesting study where they had somebody pronouncing a B sound, but they showed a video of someone pronouncing a V sound. So even though they were really saying buh, 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 because the video showed the teeth, top teeth on the bottom lip, pronouncing a va, 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 V sound, your brain, as an English speaker, my brain could not comprehend the actual auditory stimuli. I could only see the visual of the V. My brain interpreted that as a V sound. To an astounding degree, visual stimuli help listening a lot. Matthias, yes, I'm alone here, talking to myself. It would be great to have you or anybody else join me. For some reason, perhaps due to some technical changes here at Verbling, I can't get my camera to work. Although it works perfectly fine outside the class if I open up a Hangout for myself, it's not working here in Verbling. So nobody can actually see me. I don't seem to be able to fix it. So I'm here in the class all by myself, basically giving a lecture to invisible people. Very exciting. It would be very lovely. It would be great if you guys, anybody could join me, actually. Terrific. You can join or you can't join. Can you guys get in the class? I know you can hear me. Can anyone join the class? Or is there a problem joining the class? Please respond. I'll tell you, this is very strange. Can you guys join? Are you able to join the class? Or is there some problem? Okay. Hi, Hubert. No. There. Wow.
Hello.
Hubert. Hi.
Yes, I'm here. Finally, yeah, finally I could join to this class because I was trying almost 20 minutes, but I could not.
Okay. I do believe that Verbling is undergoing some updates. In fact,
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure they are because there was messages. The website is updating.
They are working in the website.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe so. So there's some weird technical strangeness. Hi, Anna, Christina, Matthias, anybody out there who's also watching this streaming video? They're updating the website as far as I know. I'm not sure. Very strange things are going on. I can't use my video.
Yeah,
Hopefully
but
everything will
yeah, but
be back to normal soon.
they can continue trying to access to the class because I was trying every minute.
Okay. Did you do anything special in order to get in, Iber?
I'm sorry.
Did you do anything special? Anything unusual?
Yeah, when I was trying to access to this class, appeared a message on the screen and saying that the website is updating.
Oh, there we
The
go.
website is updating. Yeah, it's for the reason that I could not access before.
Okay. Well, there you go. There you go. And Anna Christina is with us as well. Terrific.
All
I
right.
was Hi.
Finally, teacher.
Yeah, I was so lonely talking to
I don't
myself.
know what is the problem for join.
Yeah, they're updating the website. I think they're making some changes. There's some changes being made, some fixes. We'll have to wait and see, but I think there's some uh, Verbling itself is making some active changes to the website. Is the issue. Anyway, great to have you guys here. All right. Okay, I have been just sitting here by myself making suggestions for helping with studying English. Uh, so I want to talk to you guys a little bit about problems, and then you guys can start thinking about some suggestions, what you do to help yourself in studying English. First of all, I want to talk about problem.
All right. Well, I think that the connection is lost because I cannot hear anything. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Yeah,
I thought that is my internet.
I can hear you, Anna.
Okay, I can hear you too. I think it leave the class because I thought that the problem is here in my home with my internet. But
Hello.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that
Okay,
it's
Um,
it's back.
ugly.
Yeah, it's back. Maybe, yeah, they because they are working in this website. I think that is not your
Matthias.
internet connection.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hello. Hi
Yeah.
hello,
guys.
ugly.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
You go
Strange.
back.
Yeah. I never left. I was here. It just wouldn't let me talk. Very strange. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Heber, I was asking, I don't know when I got cut off. I just kept talking, but Heber, what is most challenging for you in studying English?
Well, let me tell you my history.
Okay.
That was it's my challenge about it's something about my challenge because one month ago I got a job. You know, have you heard something about Expedia? Expedia.com?
No. What is it again?
Have you heard something about Expedia.com?
Oh, Expedia.
Yeah,
That's the travel website, right?
travel agency. All right, yeah, that's correct. Well,
Yes.
I got a job in a call center, and well, I used to receive calls from people calling about Expedia to get services to fly another countries or inside the United States. But my problem was that my listening is terrible. It's terrible, and sometimes I could not understand the customer, and so the customer every call they ask me for my supervisor,
Oh God.
and yeah, because they get angry. I'm sorry, they get angry because I could not understand it. So this is my big challenge to me improve my listening.
Ah, okay. All right. Um, couple points of English. You didn't understand to the customer. You don't need to understand the customer. And Could be past tense. You're telling a story, so always past tense. They got angry. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, they got angry, and they
I do know.
uh, and yeah, and
Y-
they let me go to the work. So I decided to take English class again to back to
Yeah,
the job.
right. Hey Bear, I do know. I know very well because I worked for about 3 years in a call center here in the Philippines, where I was a supervisor and I had agents such as yourself who had the same problem. And so, as a supervisor, I would have to talk to the angry customers.
Yeah, yeah, that's really crap.
So, yes, I do know. I know very well. Um, okay. So the whole listening thing.
Yeah,
Um, a couple things that I might suggest is
all right.
obviously there's no substitute for practicing. Um, listen to TED Talks, VOA, Voice of America, maybe NPR, National Public Radio. Uh, these websites all have English learner sections as well, by the way, where you do some listening and then you can do some exercises. Uh, Another thing that I might suggest, I don't know, you might search for material on the internet. I teach classes, but rarely, sometimes, but rarely do other teachers teach classes. I think next week I may have some classes, Hébert, which will
Uh-huh.
help you. I'm considering doing some classes about uh, reduced pronunciation, how we join sounds together to create rhythm and intonation in English. Um, I might be doing some classes on this very topic, but it's very important to understand how English speakers join words together, because we lump words together and they're hard to hear the different words. I mean, do you know what I mean, actually?
Yeah, yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah.
I know that it's important.
Yeah, and sometimes it will help your own speaking fluency, but more than that, I find that it often helps listening skills. Um, anyway, searching information or materials about intonation, rhythm, and reduction may help you. Doing a little study in that area. Okay.
Yeah, actually, I got a book with the correct pronunciation, and those days I have not studied this book back, but I will try to do it because I know that the pronunciation is important
Yeah.
to to express uh, my ideas or
Uh,
whatever I want to say.
but I don't want to. I'm not saying yes, pronunciation is important. Phonetic sounds of the different letters is important. Yeah, of course. But the fact is, native English speakers reduce sounds. We drop syllables. We drop sounds. We join sounds together. We alter those phonetic sounds frequently, a lot. And that's what can be convincing. I mean, confusing. See, that's what I'm talking about. There's a great book. I'm just gonna. I don't know if I should even do this, but I'm doing it. Here I go. I would highly recommend to anyone. It's called American Accent Training. Terrific book because it talks about how we really talk in English.
American accents training.
That's the name of the book. You
All
can,
right, thank you.
if you can find it, terrific book. And the it's supposed to be to help you teach you how to speak, but in reality, when I have taught this book, I see a much larger improvement in the students' listening skills because they start to understand how this is organized and the patterns, because there are patterns, most definitely, and the patterns are repeated over and over and over. where the sounds are reduced or joined together very closely. Anyway, um, that's just okay. Hopefully, maybe that will help. Let me
All
talk
right.
to.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me talk to Anna Christina for a minute
Yeah.
here. Anna, tell me a little bit about your English study history.
um, I have I have been studying English um, for more or less 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the English for me is, I think that is difficult because English has a lot of vocabulary words. Um, I think I had a problem. My main problem is my in general my English skills, but I feel sad or maybe um, frustrated when I can understand when someone speak English, when someone told me in English.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I can watch the Berlin class in level advanced. I would like to take that class, but I know that I need to study so hard for forget enjoying in that class. Yeah, because I feel bad when I can understand when the teacher asks me whatever thing, or maybe when a classmate speaking English and I can understand is so disappointing for me. Always I try to join to the intermediate and beginner class, but I would like speak English fluently. I would like understand the English. I would like speak and speak English, and I would like teach English here in my country. I am a Spanish teacher, but I would like to teach English because is the English will be for me um, will give me more opportunities. And I love the English. I like that language, but it's so difficult for me.
Yeah.
Um, in my first class with you, okay, I can understand anything. Uh, right now, I can understand a little bit more, but I am happy for that.
Yeah, well, okay. First of all, I really have to say, Anna Christina, that if you've only been studying for 1 or 2 years, actually, I'm quite impressed. Um, obviously, really, only 2 years because that's pretty impressive.
No, no, exactly 2 years. No, exactly one 1 year and 2 or 3 months. 2 years. No,
Well, even
no.
more impressive. That's quite impressive. Well, clearly you've come a long way because you can easily converse and be understood. Now, of course, you need to learn vocabulary. So do I. I mean, uh, everybody, any student, any teacher can stand to learn a lot more vocabulary. I learn vocabulary regularly, teaching students. Um, okay, and I understand your frustrations. Your frustrations lie in understanding
Mm-hmm.
most of the time. Do you think it's because the of the pronunciation or intonation, or is it mostly vocabulary for you? Vocabulary related,
In general, teacher,
or
the
both?
pronunciation is so hard because in English you find 2 or 3 words that the pronunciation is I can say that it's the same themes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. The English language is full of homophones, words that sound
Mhm.
identical, absolutely identical.
Mhm.
I will, Isle, like in a grocery store, Aisle, Isle as in island, Isle. The pronunciation is and should be absolutely identical, right?
Yeah.
And then there are many words that are extremely similar. Not only
Mhm.
that, you have combinations of words that sound like other words, two words together. Uh, right, he'll do it. Sounds like hill. He will, he'll do it. He'll. Um, Again, a lot of the same recommendations that I made for Hebert would be applicable for you, but clearly you're quite if you've come a long way in a year and a few months. Obviously, you're dedicated, and obviously, the more you expose yourself to English, the better you will be at understanding it. Basically, same recommendations that I would make for Hebert, and of course for both of you as well. Any chance you get to learn vocabulary, you should do it. Uh, Unfortunately, there are no magic bullets. There's no do this and your English will be better. No such thing. Uh, okay. Uh, Hey Bear, let me
Uh-huh.
go back to you. What is something that really works for you? A technique, a method, a specific study program, or even material? What's something that you find very beneficial for your English study?
Well, in my case, in my personal case, um, I want to learn English. I want to improve my English because right now I study. Well, this semester I could not continue my university, but I would like improve my English because I would like get a job and well and continue paying my university because right now I need to finish my university. So in this case, I was studying in industrial engineering, and well,
Hmm.
I think that the English for me will be a good tool to get a job and make money to pay my university. That is for the reason, but
Yeah, of
um,
course.
in the English will be a plus for me if, for example, if in the future I will want to study or I will work in another country, for example.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you. I know why you're studying English, but actually, my question really was, uh, what study method, what works good for you? What works well for you, I should say.
What work?
Yeah, what do you do that, I don't know, a technique, whatever, repeating a vocabulary word over and over, keeping a notebook with vocabulary words, actual things you do, or actual, I don't care if you, material that you listen to, listening to
Ah,
IELTS listening tests. I don't know. What works for you
well,
studying English? Yeah.
in this case, I was listening and watching videos on YouTube about this man called the last name is Iglesias and Jeff Duman. Yeah, they are ventriloquists.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, yeah. I was
Okay.
watching those videos and try to understand listening because in my case, I think that the music is not good for me, and I try to watch, for example, speech from the Mr. President Obama and try to understand what he's saying. Yeah, I think that helped me to me, but yeah,
Oh,
that's worse for me.
well, that is, I must say, that is a new one. That is not one I have heard. Very interesting, though. Really interesting. Ventriloquist videos.
Yeah,
I
because
can kind of see how that would be valuable because you're not able to see their lips moving. You're not able to visualize the language.
yeah, yeah, you're right. It's
Interesting.
for that reason.
Right, and especially in your case where you're doing customer service on the phone,
Oh,
you
yeah,
can't see people's lips.
yeah,
Uh, but you have to, okay, hear only and also hear the uh, emotive or emotional aspects. That's interesting. That's a good one. Thanks, Barrett. I never heard. That's very original. Never heard that one before. I can actually see. Makes sense though. It really
yeah.
does to me.
All right, all right. Actually,
Interesting.
well, in this case, you pronounce makes sense. If you want to say makes sense, but in a negative way, how do you say make sense in a negative? I'm sorry, negative way.
Negative way. That doesn't make any sense at all.
Doesn't like their person
Doesn't
doesn't make any. All right,
that?
thank you.
I would say that doesn't make sense.
That
Okay.
doesn't make sense. All right, thank you.
Yeah. But that does make sense. Okay. That's an interesting one. Thank you for sharing that one. That's good. Might add that to my list. Okay, Anna Christina, how about you? What's a technique, a methodology? What's something that you have done that's really helped out your English learning?
What? Excuse me. Could you repeat the question, please?
Sure. I'm trying to get, what I'm trying to do is have us share best practices. What is something that you have done or currently do that really helps you learning English? I don't know, reading specific books, a specific textbook, standing in front of the mirror, saying the alphabet. I don't know. It could be, okay. Hebert just says he watches videos of ventriloquists in English to help
When
his listening. Yeah.
I can pay for Berlin class, I watch class every day. Only watch. Try to listen and listen and listen. I like the English music. I like listening English music and try to see news in English. I try every day 1, 2, or maybe 3 hours listening um, in English. I like watch TV shows in English, Mother Family, Core Your Enthusiasms, Friends, The Child. Um, I don't remember, but always try to listen and speak English with my friends, with my boyfriend. My boyfriend is English teacher. Um,
Ah, that's handy.
yes, but he doesn't have time for practice with me. But
Yeah.
I try. I try.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. I want my reaction to what you said. Okay. Not that any of those things are bad. They're not bad. And in fact, talking to your boyfriend in English is probably the best one. But besides that, I just a little cautionary, a little. I urge just a little bit of caution. Beware of this. It's not bad, but beware of this. For example, music. Music is poetry, all right? And poetry does not have to follow grammar rules. You need to, it's okay, you can pick up vocabulary and maybe even a sense of rhythm in English, but you have to be aware that music lyrics frequently make grammar mistakes. I'll be loving you. Wrong. Bad grammar right there. Okay. Frequently, it will make mistakes. Frequently, music also uses metaphor, symbolism, and imagery. Okay, that's good because you get a sense of cultural metaphor and so forth. But it can also be misleading because sometimes students think that is a normal expression, saying, or idiom, but it's not. It's poetry. It's music. So they can do whatever they want. You have to keep that in mind. News is great because you learn some more formal language, but please keep in mind that a newscaster, welcome to News Desk 19, today is June 2nd, 2015. I don't normally talk like this. I do not say, hello, Anna Christina, welcome to the Verbling class. It is very good to see you today. It is really important that we learn about intonation. I don't talk like that. You would think I was a crazy person. Be aware that, in fact, newscasters have their own special intonation patterns and style that has nothing to do with normal English. Although it is a good source of learning some more formal words, and reading news is really a good source of learning idioms, and journalists, writers for magazines and newspapers tend to use they try to be colorful and interesting. So they tend to use a lot of idiomatic expressions and metaphor and such.
I have a question.
Sure, hey Bear.
All right. Well, in my case, that I try to watch some videos about the Obama president, and because I think that, well, in my case, I don't know, but I don't know if I correct or not. But what about the President Obama speeches?
Okay, you lost me. Okay,
Sorry.
you
Okay,
try to watch some video and.
the President Obama speeches.
Oh, Obama speeches.
Uh-huh. Well, in my case, I think sometimes it's really hard to try to understand him because they use, well, he uses a specific vocabulary, and it's not normal to me.
Aha. Okay. Political speeches are very interesting material. I'll tell you why. Because first of all, the politicians never write them. They have speech writers who are English majors in university. You know that?
Yeah, I am aware about it.
Okay. To make the politicians sound smart, because they're probably not too smart to begin with. Okay. Politicians are interesting because they're coached. They are really coached to speak with a natural rhythm and intonation, to use hand gestures. They are coached. They are like actors. Really, they are, seriously.
Yeah.
And so it's all kind of fake. They are coached to sound natural but smart. Okay? So you very much you have a point. It doesn't sound really natural. It may sound a little odd because it's not natural. It's rehearsed. It's planned to make them sound smart, and yet their delivery, the way they say it, is supposed to seem natural and friendly. They can't sound like they're talking down to their constituents, the people that voted for them, the constituents. They have to sound like they're talking equally. You're right, it's a little weird. Not the first source I would use, political speeches. And maybe especially not Obama. He's a strange duck. He uses an interesting intonation pattern.
Excuse me, teacher. When my president here in my country have to speech, it's difficult to understand. He speak Spanish like me, but it's difficult. Not is easy because the vocabulary is formal and the different words that you don't usually use here in your normal life.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that's the point. See, even in
Yeah,
I would probably not pick politicians as the best source of learning English. But you know that kind of okay, the vocabulary that politicians use is valuable. The vocabulary that academic lecturers use,
yeah.
it's valuable, but it takes time to learn that. You have to hear it in a couple different contexts to really grasp the meaning. It's very difficult to pick that up just off listening. You know, if you're going to listen to politics or you're going to listen to academic style lectures, I would recommend doing some reading. Read some lectures, read some speeches before you start listening to them. Read about the topic, pre-read the topic. You want to listen to a lecture about, I don't know, geology? You should read little bit about geology so you can pick up some of the terminology or words in context when your brain has time to think about it, rather than just listen to a lecture on geology. You know?
Yes, I know, you're right.
Background. A little background can help.
Yeah, we like just a little summarize.
Yeah. One last thing, since both of you guys have a little bit of struggle a little bit with listening, one last thing I'd like to leave you with. Listening to a lesser degree reading, a lot of it is about predicting, trying to always think ahead of the conversation. What will the teacher say next? What will Obama say next? What will the character on this TV show, how will they likely respond? It may not seem so, but if you practice doing this, you can habitualize it, make it a habit, and it's surprising how much easier it will be to listen and comprehend to the message.
Yeah.
Be predictive. Always be thinking where the conversation is going or how the conversation is organized. All right? This may help you. It's something you have to actively do and get used to doing, though. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
You can try it. Okay, thank you, Hubert, Anna Christina. Love you guys. Thank you for your patience today.
Okay, thank you, and thank you for your
Okay.
help.
Right. Well, thank you. You guys take care. I'm going to go have lunch. I'm starving. All right. See you next time here on Verbally.
See you